Hi, welcome to Sue Marie P. Welcome to Sue Marie P. This is part 2 of my spelt pizza making, and today, or this part of the video, we're going to show you, or I'm going to show you, I can't speak. So this part of the video, we're going to show you how we prepare the pizza for the oven, put the toppings on, and the first step is we need to heat up our oven, and you can either put your oven to the highest possible temperature, and the pizzas will take about 8 to 9 minutes to cook. Or what we do is we grab our pizza steel, which I'm going to try and lift out of the cupboard. Of course, it's quite heavy, so let me just grab that. So this is what it looks like. It's a big cast iron steel, and we pop that in the oven on the tray. Then I set my oven to about 220, and our oven takes about 30 to 45 minutes, probably usually 45 minutes to heat up with the steel in it. So we'll get that super hot, and then I've got my dough that I've had made previously. We just need to let that double in size, and then I'll start showing you how I prepare my toppings. But the first thing I do is I always do a tomato base. Actually, take that back. Our favorite topping is like just tomato and cheese, like the Napolitana style. So I either use passata, which is like a thick tomato puree, or just tinned tomatoes. And I love this Italian brand, which is finely chopped tomatoes. They're not very watery, they're lovely, juicy and thick. So I've got half a tin that I used earlier in this jar that I need to use up. So into that, I'll put some chili flakes, because we like our spicy. So probably just a half a teaspoon. And then I put a couple of teaspoons of basil. And if you've got fresh basil, you can use fresh basil, but I don't have fresh herbs today. So actually I'll just put a teaspoon. I think that'll be enough. You can put oregano, you can add salt and pepper, you can have fresh garlic or garlic powder, but I prefer it not too much garlic, so I'm just going to do it that way. And I just stir that. And then I sit that, and so the spices kind of do their thing, and then that's ready to go. And then we need our cheese. So I'll grab my cheese out of the fridge. So I've got some Parmesan cheese. I just bought some halloumi, so I'm going to do a halloumi and potato, cumin and oregano to show you. And I've got my mozzarella cheese, and I've got some potatoes that I'll just go and wash, and then we'll slice those with a mandolin really thinly. I don't bother pre-cooking them because I can thinly slice them and then they're fine on the pizza. And I need to drain my mozzarella ball. So I've got my fancy microplane that I use for my Parmesan. My mozzarella balls all prepped, ready to go. And I think that's going to be too small, so that'll be the best size. And I forgot to wash it, so let me wash that. So I've got a plate and I've washed my potato and I scrubbed it a little bit. I'm just going to dry it with a cloth. Mandolin slicer with its guard. Now with potato, I don't cut that until we need it and pop it on the pizza straight away. And then we pop it on the pizza straight away because it goes brown if it gets too much air on it. So we'll just pop that to one side ready and waiting. So I decided to do the halloumi, which is a new topping that I'm going to share with you today. And I'm going to put a little bit of cumin and oregano. So it gives it a bit of a Greek kind of feel. I thought that might be fun with the potatoes. Because halloumi is quite a salty cheese, I think we'll just put olive oil with the potatoes. Our time is just about to go off and our dough looks ready. We've done the finger test, and if the dough doesn't spring back and it leaves an indentation, that means they're done or ready to start stretching. So I've got loads of flour on my bench. So this is the tricky part, which I'm not perfect at it, but I'll give it a go to try and show you what I do. So I'll throw that onto the bench. Make sure there's lots of flour on your hands. So what we do is we make sure that there's flour on both sides, and then we start kind of like using the base of the hand to stretch it out. We want like a little bit of an edge. We just kind of shape it into our pizza shape. And try not to make any holes. You kind of like stretch it till it stops springing back on itself. So I think that looks pretty good. I can't, because it's such a loose dough today, I can't like hold it because I'm worried it's going to break while I'm videoing. Okay, stop talking. Let's put the toppings on. I'll do the potato one first. So what I'll do is I'm going to drizzle olive oil. Going to grab my mandolin, not the musical instrument, but the one that you cut, and I've got this potato, and I'll just be careful. I've cut my fingers doing this, so you can do it for a little bit until it gets too close. Then you can use the guard, but the guard's too high. So I've got some potato slices, so I'm going to throw them on top. This sounds crazy, but this pizza tastes like you're having hot bread and chips. But today I'm going to do something different and add halloumi. So just a little bit more potato. Let's just do it on. I think we've got enough on there. I'm going to sprinkle some oregano, depending where you're from and how you say it. That's just dried cumin. Just a little bit of that. That's probably, I don't know, a quarter of a teaspoon. I don't have a shaker bottle, so that's just kind of being sprinkled on. And then let's grab some salt. I've got some mulled and salty flakes here. And we've got my halloumi that I chopped before. It's a little bit watery, so I'm just making sure that I don't get the wateriness on the pizza. Okay, what else? Let's grab the parmesan. So just a little bit of parmesan, because I love parmesan cheese. Okay, I'm not being plant-based or vegan tonight. I kind of make exceptions for things like pizza. Hopefully I can show you how I lift it off the bench now. So I grabbed this fantastic thing called a pizza peel. So it's like a big, full spatula. So the trick is you're meant to push it in really quickly and lift up your pizza. Let me try again. There's a skill, and my husband does it better than me. So let me see if I can do it. Oh, that'll do. Look, okay, let's stretch it on. If you're watching this at home, try and perfect it more than I can. And then I'll slide it into my hot oven, and we're going to flip the griller up, or the grill element, and cook it for about 3.5 minutes. So I think I just made it look square then. And then if you, as I said before, if you're doing it in a regular oven, not a regular oven, an oven without a steel or a stone, cook it for about 8 to 9 minutes on the highest temperature you can do. I'm going to do that one, show you that after 3.5 minutes, and then I'll cook the other one later. We kind of like to cook one at a time. So how about I just cover that while we're waiting. The timer's going off, so let's grab it and have a look at what it looks like. Whoa, that looks very cooked. Check that out. Maybe I cooked it slightly too much, but it looks pretty good, and the halloumi is so golden. So look at that. That's my halloumi potato pizza. Let me just cut into that. I feel like I need some fresh green on there or something, but I don't have anything. Okay, let me know if you like the look of this. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here today, consider subscribing, because this is one of my all-time favourite types of pizza. So I thought I should do a close-up and show you and do a taste test. So that's the pizza. Look how good it looks. It's quite thin, and I've already started eating it off camera. So this is the halloumi potato pizza. The saltiness of the halloumi goes really nicely with the pizza. And look how thin my crust is. It's kind of soft yet crispy, and I love the saltiness of the salt, the halloumi and the potatoes, and the edge is soft and crunchy. This is delicious. I hope you've liked this video today. So I need to go away and eat it, so I'll be back shortly. Hi, so we're back the next day with our pizza dough, and I just wanted to share with you another video, or another part of the video, to show you what happens to the bread or the dough overnight. So that's how it looks. My two dough balls have kind of merged together. So let's grab some flour, and we'll try and salvage them. Pop the flour on the bench. Because our dough was so hydrated, it's kind of, relaxed a lot in the fridge. So grab it out. So before I started filming, I turned my oven on with my pizza steel to get it heated up for usually it takes about half an hour to 40 minutes, and I got the dough out of the fridge, but it's still quite cold. But we've got a nice sticky dough still. We're trying to form our pizza shape, so generously flour it. We try and stretch and pull it to make it a circle. But I'm not the master of this. I still do it just my way, and they always taste great. So you find sometimes the next day, if it's still a bit cold, it could be a bit stubborn, but you just kind of warm it up and it eventually relaxes. But just don't rip it, because we don't want a ripped pizza. Got a little bit of a thin patch there, so I'm just trying to... My pizza doesn't want to be a circle today. It really wants to be a square, not a circle. Okay, I think I'm going to just let it be the shape it wants to be. A very rustic, creative pizza today. It just doesn't want to be a circle. All right, just make sure there's flour under there. Let's pop some of this tomato on. As I said earlier, my pizzas might not look the perfect pizza shape, but trust me, they taste amazing. And I've got our Parmesan cheese here, so grate some of that on. Then I've got a little bit of mozzarella. We're trying to use less cheese these days, and so I'm just doing half a mozzarella. We used to do a whole mozzarella ball per pizza, and we found it was kind of too much cheese and it was a bit wet. So half kind of works better, but you can use the pre-grated. We just like the fresh mozzarella. Grab your pizza peel if you've got one. If not, a tip is, if you don't have one of these, and it's not going to go today, I've split it. So if you're doing this at home, you could pop it on a tray with some paper, and this one has not worked. So don't do what I do and mess it up like this, because we've made a big mess. That's how you salvage your pizza if it doesn't want to come off the bench. Now I'll try and get this in the oven. So that one was a bit of a failure. I need more flour on my bench. So I'm going to generously flour it this time. So I'll grab out the other dough. Forgot to put my timer on. Whoops. 3.5 minutes. Phew. All right, I'll wait till that's cooked and then I'll do this next one. The timer's gone off, so it's time to get the pizza out. So that's my creative looking pizza. So even though it looks a bit odd, I'm sure it's going to taste amazing. So let's have a little taste. It's probably going to be too hot for my mouth, but let's grab a little piece. I could have left it in a bit longer. It's a bit... The dough still tastes amazing. I think because it's such a hydrated dough, it's quite soft. It can be a little bit tricky to handle. So my takeaway is, if you can make it, the dough, and eat it on the same day, that's the best way. And then if you happen to have extras and you need to rework it, don't be too scared. It may be like a disaster like I just did, but the taste is still great. So I'm going to go away and eat this, and then we'll do the next one. So I'm going to make the final pizza out of this overnight dough. So let's grab the last ball out. Okay, let's try and make a circle. See if I can make a more perfect shape. So maybe if I started in a circle and then I slowly push out their sides. Sue, this process is better. I gotta let you in a secret. In our family, I'm the dough maker and my husband is in charge of construction because he's much better at it than me. So I've asked him if he'd come on and do the video with me, but he refuses. So he's a bit camera shy. So you get me trying to show you my way of doing the pizzas, which aren't perfect. His are more perfect than mine. So that was my little disclaimer. So I'm rotating it, pulling the side and rotating it to try and make my circle, but it keeps springing back and that is getting sticky. So let's flour that a bit more. And then I'm trying not to make it too thin, because when I made it too thin before, it split as I tried to get it in to the oven. But apparently I got good feedback, good reviews. It still tasted fine, so there was no drama there. So, okay, I think that's as big as I'm going to get it. I don't know if that's actually a 12-inch, but there's one fine bit there. I'm just trying to patch that up a bit. Okay, so I'm going to do kind of a leftover, and I'm going to make up and create a new style of pizza in front of you. So I've got a tiny little bit of that leftover sauce, so let's throw that on. So this is Creative Sue using up leftovers. So I made this Mexican veggie mix yesterday. So we had that in some enchiladas that I roasted in the oven, just like a soft taco. And I'm going to try that on the pizza. So I've got black beans, carrots, courgette, with some Mexican spices and tomato and a bit of leftover aubergine. What else is in there? Mushrooms. I don't want to put too much topping. I don't like soggy pizzas. So to that, I'm going to add some of the halloumi cheese that I did yesterday. So let's pop some halloumi on there. Kind of Mexican mix grease. I don't know if halloumi is normally added to pizza. I don't know if halloumi is normally on Mexican dishes, but let's do that. And then I'm going to add a little bit of extra cheese and go with some mature cheese. Got the packet open, so maybe just a handful of that one. So that's just pre-grated mature cheese. It's the sort I buy to put on my nachos. Actually, let's go one more small handful. It's very rustic, this one. And why not? Let's go 3 cheese. So 3 cheese Mexican pizza with some Mexican veggies and beans there. A little bit of Parmesan on top. See if we can whack this in the oven. Got my peel. Let's see if I can do it this time. Oh, almost. Pop it in the oven. I'm much better at putting it in the oven than getting it off the bench. So if you're trying this at home, probably the best way is to have a big, if you don't have a pizza steel or a peel, use a big baking tray or a pizza tray. I'll show you what we used to use. We used to use these. These are our old pizza trays, and they work fine. You just don't get a as crispy an edge. But if you don't have the resources to buy a pizza peel or steel, you can just use these. These are relatively inexpensive and it still tastes great. Forgot to put my timer on again, talking away. So let's put that on to 3 minutes. The pizza's ready to come out of the oven. I'll try not to burn my eyelashes this time. Let's have a look. This is my leftover Mexican one. And look how good that looks. Ignore my creative shape. But I'm sure it's going to taste fantastic. I'll cut it up. I'm going to come closer and show you. So check this one out. This is my Creative Mexican. Just push you back a bit. This is my Creative Mexican halloumi one. So be creative at home. Try and make your own spelt pizzas. Don't worry about if the shape's not perfect. It'll still taste amazing. So have a play and let me know what fun creative toppings you come up with, and even post it on Instagram. And thank you for watching. I'll pop some links above for some other ideas for bread making with spelt flour, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. See you later.